indeed, your well, there's the possibility that you're back as Adrian Snellgrove comes out to bat for Somerset, and the ball goes through to Toby Collins for a dot. So we're halfway through the 15th over, and another one goes through to Toby Collins for a dot. So 2 dots in a row to follow the wicket, and Ian Morris's second over turning out to be really a pretty decent one so far. 1 for 3 with 2 balls remaining. Maybe has a big swing at that one, but can't get anything on it. It's again through to Toby Collins. It's another dot. Just got 1 ball left in the over. What a great over. 1 for 3. Anyone would be proud of that. And after the unmentionable first over, what a great performance. As another one goes through to Toby Collins. It's another dot. It's a great over. 15 gone. 126 for 1. Required rate is above the current rate again, and Ed Hossel, who with a strike rate of 150, has been dismissed, and that must help. And it's a real pain that you have to keep kind of pressing that kind of square button, and it'll allow you to kind of do different things at the bottom, I think. Downfield onto bowl. Rob Crisp hits it very hard through mid-off. Fielded by Marcus Kipling, and 2 runs are scored. Rob very keen to make sure that 2 were scored. He's moved on to 35.
Wicket out number 1.
Downfield comes in, bowls. Rob and just scuffs it up into the air. Downfield's able to run forward and catch off his own bowling. And Somerset now 2 down as Rory Hossel goes into bat. Rob Crisp bowled by Downfield for 35 off 38 balls. Adrian Snellgrove is not out, 0 off 4 balls. And Downfield has 1 for 13 from 1.2 overs. We have Somerset needing 42 to win, and the rate required back up to 9.
They haven't scored yet, have they?
Both are on zeros.
And Rory can only get that back to the bowler for a dot. Dunn comes in. Rather more strongly hit this time by Rory. Dan's still able to block off his own bowling and prevent a run being scored. So it's another dot. Rory's able to loft this one to mid-off. Kipling's after it. Ed's Ed's running for Adrian and is able to get back
Batsman 4
and
scored that, didn't he?
to score 2.
It's 2. How many scored batsman? 4.
He's on
It's 2.
How many batsman 3 scored?
None.
0.
So we're on 130?
We are on 130, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
It's all here. It may not be on the web, but it is all here. And Rory plays that to mid-on and sprints through to take a single and keep the strike. It's 131 for 2 at the end of 16. There are 39 needed to win off 4 overs. Sussex's totals have bowled out, and it's bowler 1, Joe Harrison, returning at the left-hand end. He's got 2 overs left to bowl, so it may well be that it's
Ball of 1 and 2, Mike.
Joe. It may well be Joe and Dan to bowl out, or possibly Joe and Phil Daniels.
Yeah.
We shall see. Anyway, Joe has. I think it's his cap he's kind of put down to make his mark. There's certainly a black object on the floor, standing up a little bit at the end of his mark as he's in. Bowls to Rory. Rory plays it to square leg. Ed holds the ends. Rory runs in as Callum Weir's throw comes in, and they are able to score 2. In VI form of the game, it's Joe Harrison bowling.
2 runs off the first one. Yeah.
2 runs off the first ball. Rory reverses, catches Matt Greenhow slightly kind of unawares. The ball goes to the boundary for 4 through backward point with the reverse. So Rory quickly up to 9 off 6. The score 137. 33 needed to win of 22 deliveries. And field changing around. Marcus Kipling going to that backward point position where Matt Greenhow was, and Matt Greenhow moving to where he was at mid-off. As Joe comes in from the left, bowls, and Rory snicks it just behind square, gets himself in. Ed runs down to try and get himself in at the other end and gets himself in. So although that was a very scuffed shot, they've still scored 2 runs. Ed. And a no ball. 2 runs off of a no ball because we've now got a free hit. And the free hit ball from Joe just goes straight through to Toby Collins for a dot. Scott has advanced by 1 more though, so it is now 140. 30 needed from 3.5 overs. Another reverse, this time going to Simon Ledwith at point, and 1 run scored by Rory. 2 balls potentially for Adrian Snellgrove to face at the end of this over, and we're boiling up to a really exciting finish to this game with 29 needed from 20 balls. Adrian sets himself up. The field is in close, of course, for the total batter on strike. Joe's got to adjust to get 2 bounces in. He does that. Adrian hammers the ball at Dave Daniels, who at short cover, who can't hang on to it. It's a dot ball. End of the over. Yes. I just had 5 balls with that late called no ball, but was there? Where was the other dot?
It was the 4th ball. So you had a wide then a dot. The no ball was followed by a dot.
Yes.
Then you had 1 then a dot.
Yeah, but 2. I only had 2, 4, and then the no ball.
2, 4, 2.
Off of a no ball, which was signalled late, which is why.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, understood. Yeah,
yes.
Yes. Yeah, it should have been another ball.
So it is Phil Daniels to come on, bowler number 2 back on to replace Danfield from the right hand end with 29 needed off 3 overs or 18 balls, and Rory on strike. Yeah, but there was definitely a free hit signal, wasn't there? So there must have been a no ball signal. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you can't have a free hit off of a ball, can you? And Rory can't get back on that. He's bowled, and by Phil Daniels, and it may well be that with that, Sussex feel they have the ascendancy in this game. There's 29 needed off 17, and it's Matt Davidson coming in to bat for Somerset.
Number 112. Yeah. Oh, right place, yes. So come on then, that was the final.
And then just put the number of what's coming in.
5. There you go. Who's coming in?
So Matt Davidson has come in on the second ball of the 18th over. Phil Daniels at the end of his run comes in, bowls. Matt Davidson lays it to mid on, fielded by Marcus Kipling, who's been fielding there all game, and it's dot ball. Phil in again. He did. Let's just played back down, fielded by the bowler off his own bowling for a dot. So great over so far this from Phil. Wicket and 2 dots. Comes in, bowls. That was just a little more wild. Signals are wide. Denies us a possible first maiden of the day, potentially.
Can't be a maiden.
No, because there's a wide ball, exactly. And now let's go through to, it could have been before the wide. Another dot. And 2 balls left in the over. So, 14 to come. That does get something fairly decent on this over mid on. And comes back for 2 as it's fielded by Marcus Kipling. 144, 26 needed to win. So 2 a ball it is, as Matt plays to square leg. Toby Collins chases out there to field alongside Callum Weir. 1 run is scored. It's 145 for 3 at the end of the 18th over.
4 scored plus a wicket.
There are 25 needed to win, and Ed is slightly limping off. He's done a lot of running. Rory's gone out to run for Adrian. Adrian's walking out with Neil Robson to square leg. Joe Harrison is ready to bowl. Matt Davidson will be on strike for this penultimate over of the innings. And Joe Harrison to bowl out, we take it. Yep. There's an appeal. But nothing doing. It's a dot ball. And there's a lot of appeal. Sounds like it was just down leg. As Joe comes in to bowl again to Matt. Lofted up in the air. Is somebody going to get underneath it? It bounces just as Marcus Kipling arrived, and they're able to get through for 2 runs. So Matt now on to 5 from 7. And Somerset should go past 150, but it looks as if this is likely to be Somerset's game, and perhaps even more likely as Joe has now picked up another wicket bowled. Yeah. This time it's Matt Davidson, and so we'll now need 2 runners out there because Robert Sholto Douglas Vernon is going out to bat. So we have 2 totally blind batters at the crease. And maybe that's what you want when the required rate is 15.3. Rob Crisp is going out to run. So the 2 runners will be Rob Crisp and Rory Hossell. Adrian Snellgrove is standing with Neil Robson at square leg as Robert comes out to bat. He'll have Robert Sholto Douglas Vernon has come out to bat. There's 3 balls left in the 19th over, and Joe Harrison has just picked up a wicket. 4th wicket, 4th bowler to get a wicket. The others have been Ian Morris, got the first one, the crucial one possibly of Ed Hossell, Dan Field, Phil Daniels, and now Joe Harrison. So the four wickets to fall so far, shared around between the bowlers. As Joe Harrison has the ball in his hand, comes in to bowl. Was there something on that? I think there must have been something on that. It didn't go very far. It really only went through the wicketkeeper. It's 1 run and 2 scored. Adrian Snellgrove on strike. And that is a bye. He didn't connect with that one. That's the 150 up with a bye. And one ball to come in the over. 1 run scored.
2 runs.
One bye scored, and Robert Shelter, Douglas Vernon back on strike, who did manage to get bat on ball and score 2 from his first ball. And he plays this to short point, fielded by Simon Ledwith. One run, 2 scored. It's 152 for 4 off 19. There are 18 needed off the last over.
Excuse me, can I just have another ball? Have another ball, please. Thank you. Who's bowled the last over?
It looks like Danfield. It's like Danfield's going to bowl the last over.
Danfield,
Yeah.
6. Strike last over. Yeah. How'd you get on?
I played onto the bloody wickets.
You hit on the wicket?
Yeah, hit my leg and went through my leg.
Oh, unlucky. You'll be playing Somerset.
Yeah.
Unless they score looking over 20 off this one. With 2 totals, I can't see.
And we start with a wide.
That's 2.
Danfield bowling this last over. So wide.
What happened there? Score runs. Total's gone off.
Well, there was no signal, was there? So I think that must be 1 run, 2 scored.
Hasn't scored anything. Oh, no, you got bowled. You got bowled.
No.
I think he got bowled. He hasn't scored anything. The wicket. Oh.
Adrian Snellgrove has just been bowled by Danfield on the second ball of the over. And Alan Maybe is coming out to bat for Somerset. The score is 153. 15 needed off 4 balls. 155 is the score. Yes, 15 needed off 4 balls to get to 170. Yes. And yeah, so Alan maybe to face the last 4 balls from Danfield, who has to defend 15 in these 4 balls. Alan snicks it through to sort of fly slip position where it's fielded by the wicketkeeper for 1. So 14 needed off 3 balls.
Total facing.
Robert shoulder Douglas Vernon facing, so he needs a couple of boundaries off downfield if Somerset are going to get into the final. And he does get hold of that one reasonably well. It's palm down. And dead ball.
Does it count? Dead ball.
It was Callum Weir who fielded that out there.
So there's nothing scored on that then? Dead ball.
2 runs scored. Dead ball.
Yeah, I think it must be 2 scored dead ball, isn't it?
Is that 2 extras?
Yes, because he didn't leave the crease, so he couldn't be run out. Yes. And that's hit back at Dan, who grabs hold of it. So although they have run through for 2. Alan Maybe is on strike with at the last ball. It's
160 I've got.
Plays it out onto the leg side, fielded by Callum Weir, 4-1. That's
They ran one.
163 for 5 is the final score, and Sussex Sharks have won by 6 runs.
Only has 6 runs. Two, 4, 6. Another one has 5.
Robert has 12, and Alan Maybe's got 2.
Oh, maybe 2. 12 for Robert. He's total.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And the total score.
163 for 5. And we will leave the live stream. We'll set it up again and we'll schedule another stream and try and let people know about it. Second innings. And meanwhile, we're going to try and find out what's happened to the internet, which seems to say that there's still a signal. But suddenly woken up and decided it does want to work. So let's see if we can make it work on Play Cricket. We're going to end this stream now anyway. If anybody did listen from moment 2, thank you. And yeah, we will try and set up to run the afternoon's game, whichever game we end up covering with commentary. And we're going to try and make sure that Play Cricket stands up for both matches this afternoon as well.